Peace, 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 everybody. This is Taliba Set, the Money Metaphysician from Augusta, Georgia. And shit, I ain't been on a live stream in so long. Got a new page. A couple people that sent me friend requests. A couple people haven't. Doesn't really matter because right now I'm just kind of giving this live stream thing a test run. Why? Because I haven't been on it so long until it feels like first time you're doing a live, right? So I entitled this live there's two ways to be fooled. That actually comes from a quote by the philosopher Soren, I can't never say his name, Kierkegaard. It's a foreign name, so it's kind of hard to say, especially with my southern accent, right? So anyway, he says that there are two ways to be fooled. One way is to believe what isn't so. So we're familiar with that. Other way to be fooled is to refuse to believe what is so, right? And so I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it in light of all the things that are happening, COVID-19 thing. It is a thing, something. I don't know exactly what, but it is definitely something. The talk about the economy. There's a lot of talk going around about this wealth gap, which that's just foolishness, right? Because how can a wealth gap, the only way that a wealth gap can exist is if you're depending on someone else to provide wealth for you. And we all know that you apply yourself to supply your wealth. So if you apply yourself to supply your wealth, there really can't be a gap, right? Because if you're not supplying yourself with enough wealth, you just supply yourself with more wealth, right? And then we know that the difference between wealth and poverty, or prosperity and poverty, is then information and application. If you're able to apply the right information, learn the right skills, do the right things, then there's no wealth gap, right? Because we can just close it whenever we feel like it. Nobody is in charge of your wealth. Is there systemic racism? Of course there is. There always will be. Because there always will be idiots in the world, right? But that has nothing to do with your ability to gain wealth. So one of the arguments for wealth, or for a wealth gap, or income inequality, right, says that, well, there's opportunities out there, but these opportunities are only available to some people. That's crazy, right? Because opportunity is available to anybody. Anybody that wants to learn and apply. Anybody. As a matter of fact, then, a lot of these arguments, though, it kills me because a lot of these arguments are then setting up to attack capitalism, which is a bad thing. I don't care what anybody says. Like, capitalism is a good thing. So to attack capitalism would be a bad thing. Socialism is not a good thing. The socialism is not fair. It's not fair that I should have to work, build my wealth, and then give it to someone else who has lesser ability. I didn't make that up. That's in The Richest Man in Babylon. So read the book. It's in there, right? So if you read The Richest Man in Babylon and you agree with it, you kind of can't agree with socialism, right? A lot of people who I hear talking about socialism actually do recommend the book, and I'm like, have you ever read it? Because if you actually read the book, then you kind of, like, the book is for capitalism, not for socialism. But anyway, that's even beside the point, because that's not even what I got on to talk about. What I got on to talk about is that there are two ways to be fooled. And I guess that does lead into what I'm talking about. Of course I'm talking about money. I'm the money metaphysician, right? So here's the thing, though. Opportunity is out there, and these opportunities, the opportunities I deal with, they are available to anybody. Anybody that's got 8, 15, 10, 20, $50, you can get in these opportunities. You can earn $100,000 in 90 days. My brother, in the last 6 months, he's earned $250,000. Started with $8, maybe 10. I think I started with 12. I made 11,000. I didn't start as quickly as he did. I had some fucking distractions and shit going on in my life, and I wasn't paying attention. There you go. But the fact is, you can make money today. You make money tonight. You know, this just all depends on how well you listen to information and then apply that information, right? So that kills that argument. Another thing is, I was thinking about that quote in the sense of how if one way to be fooled is to believe what isn't so. So we all believed, or at one point, I don't think I ever really believed this, but this is what you were taught, and this is what your actions say that you believe, right? Go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and live happily ever after. Now that's a lie. And you don't have to take my word for it. Look around you. How many people do you know that went to a job and retired wealthy? Nobody, right? Not what you think is wealthy, actually wealthy. You know, nobody. You know, not just hood rich, not just got a bunch of shit on finance, but truly wealthy, right? So nobody good. First of all, here's the thing. Anybody that has wealth doesn't go to work. Or, well, they might go to work, but they're doing what they want to do. Nobody goes to a job that they hate every day of their life to do something that is nowhere near their dream or nowhere near their, you know, their alignment, nothing that they're aligned with. Nobody does that if they don't have to. So you're not living your life on your terms if you're going to a job, right? So the idea of going to school to get good grades, to get a good job, so you can live happily ever after is just crazy, because you're not going to live happily ever after doing some shit that you don't want to do for the rest of your life because you have to do it because you got to pay the bills. That's not living. That's surviving. That's those two are not the same thing. It's not. It's not. Like, I don't care what anybody tells you. Being able to buy big rims and live in a big house and be in a bunch of debt, that's not fucking living. That's just surviving and keeping up with the Joneses and impressing your friends who don't have shit either. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, no matter what. So, to believe that's an example of believing something that isn't so. Right? And somebody's texting me. But that's an example of believing something that isn't so. Right? Then, on top of that, right, there is to refuse to believe what is so. So I come along and I have several different platforms. I deal with smart contracts. I suggest that everybody does. Why? The reason I deal with smart contracts is because they work. They're fast. They allow me not to be able to have to get up and go to work. I can talk to people all day on the street, on Facebook, YouTube, make posts, do whatever. Because I'm leveraging relationships. Because I leverage relationships, I simply keep on building relationships to leverage, right? I make friends all the time. I always have made friends. So if I can make friends and live my life the way that I've been living it way before all these smart contracts ever came, I'm just making friends. Sharing information that I have with my friends that I made. And I make friends. You know, I just continue to make friends so that I have people to share the information with. Either they want it or they don't want it. But here's what I find interesting. Again, I said, my brother here, business partner, brother, whatever you want to say, he's my brother, right? He's made $250,000 in the last 6 months. It's not a lie. I can prove that. It is so. And yet, people refuse to believe it. I can show it to them. Show it to them, and they still refuse to believe it. A couple months ago, I made $828 in about a 15-minute time span, right? Most people don't make $800 in a whole week. That's all mine now. It's all mine. Just $828. Didn't really do nothing. I made $300 in 30 minutes. You know, whatever. $900 in 10 minutes or whatever. It doesn't matter. My point is, it's all mine. I spoke to a family member, right? And my family member says, well, you know, if something's too good to be true, like, okay, it's too good to be true. I'm showing it to you. It's my money. I pay the rent with it, pay the bills with it. What part of that is too good to be true? Then that is an example of refusing to believe what is so. It's refusing to look at something that is a fact and not believe it, right? And that's kind of how we operate, because we will believe what those who oppress us tell us, even all the way down to they've never done anything good for you, and yet you believe that you need them to act in your best interest, right? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of not, like, sensible. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't just make practical sense. Like, if someone's trying to hurt you, then they don't care about you, right? And I mean, we don't just do this with money. We do it in relationships. Listen, women, if you have a man in your life and the man treats you like crap, it's because he doesn't care about you. It's just kind of like that. Like, he cares about himself. He may care about what you're doing for him in the moment. But if he doesn't show that consistently, that means that you're just a convenience. So to refuse to believe that you're just a convenience is, again, another way to be fooled. It doesn't just work with money. It works in life, period. But I digress. The fact is that there are opportunities out there. There are opportunities out there that you can get involved with 8, 15, 10 bucks. So it's a matter of learning how to use some new platforms, which nobody has a problem with, because mostly everybody has a phone. Most of you know how to use several apps on your phones. You've all learned to use those apps. There's nothing, you know, barring that there's anything wrong with your intelligence or anything wrong with your brain. You have the ability to communicate, and you have the ability to pretty much cut and paste the link to share the information with someone. Then you can make money. Right? You don't have to lie to people. This is what it is. This is what you have to do. This is how we make money. We train. We coach. We keep our teams together. Like that. You know? It's just that simple. Opportunities are available to anybody that wants to do it. It's a matter of actually allowing yourself to believe that it can be done. So it is that's kind of how I see that. Like, you know, I see it as a few weeks ago, there were people here in Georgia. I live in Georgia. So here in Georgia, there were people out, like, picketing and protesting at the Department of Labor because they didn't get their they didn't get their unemployment checks. This is $600, right? Well, it's $600 a week. Now, this lady comes on, and I felt so bad because she's crying, and she says, well, you know, I have to work 2 jobs. She says, I'm 69 years old, and I have to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. And I have not received any money from either job since March 13th is what she said. March 13th. This is now August, so you haven't had any income since March. First of all, I got a problem with you being 69 years old and working on anybody's job, right? The second thing I have a problem is that you actually believe that you need that $600 when I have a business partner, several business partners. My business partner, Larry's made $1,200. His money averages out to $1,200 every week in the same span of time, from March to August. Same the span of time, he's earned over $12,000 a week, right? You know, in the same span of time, I've earned $800 a week. You know, that beats that 600, right? And I don't have to do anything but step my game up, and I can earn as much as I want to earn, right? And then it's sad though that you believe this, because that is to believe what isn't so, because you don't need a check. You don't really need a job. You don't need a paycheck. You don't go to work to go to work. That's the sad part. You don't go to work to go to work. You go to work to make money or to earn money. They're not even really paying you money. They're paying you debt. They're paying you dollars. But that is even beside the point. We'll get into that later, because I know a lot of you that probably see me now, you're seeing me now, then a lot of you don't know Taliba. But you'll get to know me, because you'll see me and you'll listen to me and say, well, yeah, she's pretty fly. She makes sense. Right? The thing is, though, you don't have to go to work. You can make money without going to work. I do it. I do. So you can make money and you don't have to go to work. You can make a lot of money without going to work, because if you don't go to work, you have a job to get in the way of you making money. Right? So I hear some people say, well, you know, I try to tell them, well, I'm busy. It takes 5 minutes to look at this video. 5 minutes. There's another few minutes for me to explain it to you. But to tell you the truth, I don't even have to explain it to you. Let me show you how to do it. You do it yourself and you make your money in the next 5 minutes. You see the money hit your account, you know how to use it, then you don't need me to show you nothing. You just get on and learn and apply. Learn, apply. Learn, apply. Learn, apply. That's the problem. We have stopped learning. We've stopped even desiring to learn, because all we want to do is watch TV. Don't call TV the idiot box for nothing. No, there's some good stuff on TV. Most of it is just a waste of time. There's some good shit on Facebook. Most of it is a waste of time. If you're not making money on Facebook, there's no reason to be on there. Matter of fact, if you're not making money, or if you're trying to make money, if you're trying to gain skills, you don't even have time to look at TV. You don't have time to be in entertainment. You don't have time to look at sports. You don't have time to gossip. You don't have time to do none of that shit. All you have time to do is focus on you and what you need to do. Right? And so, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I talk about money, not just about money, you know, just to be talking about money, but I talk about, one, how to increase your cash flow, because we know, or we should know, that cash flow is superior to net worth. Why? Because you can use cash flow to buy net worth. You can just buy net worth. You don't even have to build it. You can buy it if you got the cash. If you have the cash flow, you can buy whatever you want, including net worth. So, you want to be a millionaire, just buy yourself into a millionaire. Right? That's it. Buy the assets. Get the proper kind of financial instruments, and you'll be a millionaire. Just buy it. Right? Not only that, you know, we also know that we have to save properly. So I talk about increasing cash flow, which I choose to do by utilizing the smart contracts, which I'll be more than happy to tell you about. All you have to do is ask me. You may be making money tonight. You can be making money tomorrow. You can make money every single day for the rest of your life, and make it instantly, right? So then there's the smart contract. So, which in my opinion is the best way in 2020 to increase your cash flow. And it's decentralized. What is even better than that, right? Because now the government doesn't even control your money. Nobody does. You are in control of your own money in a decentralized network. Then I talk about saving properly, right? Because we already know a dollar is not money, so you can't save it. So you need to be saving in a precious metal. Get you some art. You know, get you some assets. You need an asset that outpaces the rate of inflation, because a dollar is created by inflation. Therefore, it can't outpace the rate of inflation. It actually devalues as inflation happens, and then to make more dollars, you have to make more inflation. You get that? Because a dollar is made from debt. You have to have debt. You borrow a dollar into existence. So if there's no debt, there's no dollar. There's no inflation, then dollars can't happen. So what happens, dollars get printed for things like unnecessary stimulus packages. Why they're unnecessary? Because you can just make money without the stimulus package. You don't need it. You're going to make that $1,200 every day. You can make that $1,200 every week. You don't need the stimulus package. But the economy needs it because they need something to run the dollar in the ground so that they can reset the economy and move into a cashless society. Stop playing. Right? They play the Jenga game until there is no more stacks that you can make. You can't raise the debt ceiling anymore. You can't, there's nothing backing the dollar. The petrodollar is dead. So, it's only a matter of time before people start to realize that the dollar is not going to go anywhere. We're going to have hyperinflation. The dollar's not going to buy anything. You just have a bunch of dollars that you can't buy shit with. Right? And so, then we're going to save properly by acquiring assets, gold, silver, art, whatever. Definitely gold and silver, right? So you want to do that. And then you want to be able to take the money that you earn, and this is great if you have a job because you don't need that much. Take the money that you earn and then learn how to put that money to work to make more money. Because the more your money works and the more money your money makes, the less you have to work to make money. And then people can have time to do things like spend time with their children, which our children need it. They're dying from a lack of love. We have occupationally orphaned children raising themselves because their parents are at work. And we wonder why our communities are falling apart. It's because we have a whole bunch of children that are raising themselves with no guidance. So that's the first thing. You have time to spend time and pour into your children, right? You have time to teach your children sound financial principles. Matter of fact, a smart contract is so fly that if you have a 10-year-old that gets $10 a week for allowance, you can set him up a smart contract, let him go get all his other friends with $10 and he can make his own money and they can make their own money, and you have an 11-year-old buying you a car. Like, seriously. Smart contracts are awesome, right? So then, not only that, you will have time to work on your dreams. There had to be something that you dreamed of. You came here with a purpose. You came here to do something. And I know it was not to go to work every day. I know that it wasn't that. So you have time to deal with who you were before the world taught you or told you who you should be, right? Before the world told you to go to school, get good grades, and get a good job and work yourself to death for the rest of your life, right? So you have time to focus on that. You have time to read books. You have time to expand your mind, expand your knowledge, expand yourself. You have time to work on you. You have time to make good friends and travel in different circles and go to different places and see things that you've read about in books. You see that in real life. You travel around the world. You're not limited to the time that you spend on anything. That's freedom. Because all that financial freedom is to be able to commit, to maintain the lifestyle that you're living, or a certain lifestyle without having to go to work to earn more. It is a matter of having your own something, right? So we all seem to like work backwards. So we like to do things the opposite way of what is the easy way. The easy way is just to learn something, apply what you learned, and just do it. Stop looking at mainstream media because they're not going to tell you shit that's good for you. All they're going to tell you is how to be a better slave. Right? They're going to tell you how to be a better slave. Somebody text me. And while they're telling you how to be a better slave, they're killing you at the same time, right? You can do that. There's nothing barring you from doing it. Not my idea of a good time, though. It's not my idea of an optimal or ideal life. I kind of like to be free. I like to do what I want to do. I like to get up when I want to get up, which I do get up early, but still, I get up when I want to get up. Lay down when I want to lay down rather late. But I like being able to do what I want to do and still get paid. Right? And I like to be able to get paid while I'm living my life, because my pay has nothing to do with the things that I want to do, other than the fact that, you know, they allow me to be able to afford to do those things. But, you know, I don't have to go out and work at a job. Literally, I'm working now, if this is what you call work. So here talking to y'all, or talking to nobody right now because I'm new on this page. I don't really have a whole lot of people following me, but that'll change in a little while, you know. I'm not worried about it. I'm just running my mouth. This is what I do literally every day, run my mouth. It's what I do best. I talk shit better than anybody. But I teach. You know, I like to teach. I like to be able to teach without having to worry about whether somebody's going to pay me to teach them. Like, seriously. No. I can teach you how to make money, and while you're making money, I can make money. We can make money together. I don't have to, like, charge you to teach you. Come over here and learn how to make this money. Learn how to use it in your real life. And then go pay it forward by helping somebody else learn how to make money. That's how you do that. That's what group economics is, right? A group of people who have a common economic interest that agree to work together to reach that economic goal that they have, right? That's what group economics is. It's the opposite of fighting. It's the opposite of arguing. It's the opposite of working against each other. If you have an enemy out there, then it does us no good to fight amongst ourselves, and in here we're just weakening ourselves for the battle against the enemy. I suggest we work together, definitely get our finances straight, because regardless of what you think, this depopulation agenda is not for a race of people. It is for a class of people. A class of people, because in the U.S., the de facto so-called government, there are only producers and parasites. If you're not a producer, you're a parasite. Producers create, right? The problem, when getting back to the idea of a wealth gap or income inequality, the problem with that is that there's this idea that wealth is some type of pie. Like, there's a pie, and everybody gets a slice of pie. Well, obviously, everybody can't get a slice of a pie, because every time you take a slice, it diminishes the pie. That's not how wealth works. In capitalism, or it's not how capitalism actually works. Capitalism is not all of these people just come to get a piece of your pie. In capitalism, everybody creates a piece of their own. They create their own pie, and then everybody else comes to get a piece of that. Right? So the more people that we have that have pies, the better it is for everybody. When there's people that's making pie, that has a pie, and then everybody else comes to get a piece of my pie, you're diminishing my pie. But I made this pie, and I should not have to, like, I own the labor, right? That's freedom. Capitalism says you are an individual, you own your labor, and you have the right to distribute your labor how you want to, and to charge whatever you want for it. That's capitalism. That's fair. But what's not fair is that I work, I make my pie, and then just because I have a pie and you don't, because you didn't have the skill, or you didn't have the ability, or you didn't have the willpower, or you're just too lazy, or whatever the heck it might be, you didn't make a pie. So now I'm supposed to give you my pie, or a part of my pie, because you don't have one, but you didn't make one, right? So if you didn't make a pie, then how is it fair for me to have to give you your pie, my pie, when you didn't make one of your own? You know, there's a difference. Like, if I want to give somebody a piece of my pie because something happened, then I can give them a piece of my pie if I want to. But I also should have the right to say, no, I don't want to give you a piece of my pie. Make your own pie. Matter of fact, instead of you taking a piece of my pie, why don't I give you the recipe and you can make your own pie? Same thing. Pie recipe, teach a man to fish. Same thing. Right? I want to give you a fish. I just want to teach you how to fish. If I teach you how to fish, you'll never have to beg me for a fish again. If I give you the recipe to the pie, you'll never have to worry about having a piece of my pie. Which means that now you're free, because as long as you need a piece of my pie, then I own you. Let me say that again. As long as you need a piece of my pie, I own you. You're a slave, and I own you because you need a piece of my pie. So stop needing pieces of other people's pie and make your own pie. Get on these smart contracts, get your $8, get your 4 or 5 friends together, and say, look, I'm tired of eating other people's pie. Let's have our own pie. Right? That's it. So, one way to be fooled is to believe what isn't so. There, i.e., you need other people's pie. There's a wealth gap. You need to go to school, get good grades, and get a good job. There's no such thing. That's the one way to be fooled. Other way to be fooled is to refuse to believe what isn't so. It is so that we use these smart contracts. We make a lot of money in a short amount of time. It is true that we come out every day looking for a small group of people to work together to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. If you're one of those small group of people that are anxious and ambitious for financial success, and you want to get together with us and make a lot of money in a short amount of time, we'll teach you how to use this smart contract. Go get 4 friends, 5 friends, 6 friends, 3 friends, and run. You run, and you'll be able to do it. So, apparently it's time for me to jump off of here. My daughter just called. She'll be calling back in like 2 minutes because I declined her call, so she'll be calling right back. It's my 23-year-old. She's the baby. I actually have 4 kids. 28, 24, 25, and 23. 4 grands. And so this is why I get out here and do this. This is so that they can see, I play around with them, talk to them late at night on the phone, and be a part of their lives where they don't have to worry about going to school, getting good grades. They go to school, they get good grades. I guess the one that goes to school, everybody else is young. But the fact is, they don't have to. They don't have to go to college. They don't have to do nothing. If they want to paint, they can just paint. If they want to sing, they can just sing. We'll have the money to be able to do that. We'll be able to have opportunity for them. Not just go to work, not just a job, but opportunity for them to live out their dreams and be who they want to be. Not who somebody told them to be, but who they want to be. That's the thing. That's why I'm out here telling you about the smart contracts. You don't have to do it. Don't really care if you don't. I'm still going to be making money. I'm still going to get up in the morning and still be done make some money while I was asleep. Whether you do it or not. I'm just saying, if you do, then you'll make some money and I'll make some money. And I'm going to make money whether you do or not. Because I know how to do it. Somebody taught me, and now I teach other people. So if you come in and I teach you, then you can teach some other people. Then you won't care if they join. Right? You'll just, like I gave you the information, told you what's available to you. There it is. Do it or don't do it. But please understand that the difference between prosperity and poverty is information and application. It's information and choice. And now that I've given you the information, the choice, what you do with it is your choice. It's all yours. Choose wisely. That being said, y'all, this is Taliba Set. I see a L, the Money Metaphysician, and I'm out, y'all. See y'all tomorrow.